I am movie man. I'm not supposed to review movies, and today's review is going to be on. Now you're probably wondering, movie man, this film doesn't come out until December 15th. Why are you reviewing it already? Why, it's simple. Because while the film's being released December 15th in America, over here in Ireland, we actually got it a whole week before. So, yeah. So you can suck it. But, anyways, I went to see Wonka today, and now having seen the film, what do I think? Yeah, if you asked me, I think this was a pretty good film. I don't think it's quite an amazing movie or anything, but for what it is, it's a decent film and I enjoyed it. Very much. Start things off, the cinematography in the film is pretty good. I think for the most part the movie is shot pretty well. It's a nice film to look at, and I think it does a good job. It does a good job of really capturing its environment and I mean, I wouldn't say it's an amazing cinematography, but nonetheless, I do think it was a well shot movie. I think the film is edited very well. Like, cause we do have a bunch of song numbers in the film, and I think during these scenes they're all edited very well. So I thought the editing in the film was pretty good. Now there's one issue I do have with this film. It's the pacing. Now don't get me wrong, the pacing in this isn't terrible. I do think it improves as the film goes on. But with that being said, I did find this film rather slow. In particular, I thought the first half of the film it was rather slow for me. And so I mean, the film is an hour and 56 minutes, which does make it the longest of the three Wonka movies. And it also makes it just a minute longer than the Johnny Depp version, but even with that being said, I thought the Johnny Depp version didn't quite feel as long. Like, even for a film with this runtime, it honestly did feel a bit long. Now, don't get me wrong, again, it's not absolutely terrible pacing. It's not as bad as the pace in certain other recent films that have come out, because at least it doesn't rush through everything. But with that being said, I do think the film could have done a better job with its pacing. As for the sounds and music in the film, now one thing which the trailers really didn't show at all was that this film is actually a musical. Yeah, believe it or not, this movie is actually a musical, which is something that the trailers didn't really show very much. And then actually didn't really seem to display at all this film is a musical. Now to be fair, it would kind of make sense to make this a musical since, well, the other two Wonka movies were both musicals, so yeah, it only kind of makes sense to have this one be a musical as well. But I've got to say, this was definitely a real musical. There was actually so many songs in this film. Um, yeah, the trailer honestly really didn't show that at all. Um, but honestly, with that being said, the songs in the film are actually very good. Um, if there is something which all three of these Wonka flicks can get right, it's the songs. And yeah, the songs in this film are honestly very good in my opinion. And I think they're all good songs. They're really nice to listen to. Then they're honestly quite fun and enjoyable. Say this right off the bat. This film is a way better musical than Wish. Funnily enough, both films star Natasha Rothwell, but I mean, the fact that in 2023, Warner Brothers can actually make a much better musical than Disney really just goes to show how Disney is pretty much just failing right now. Um, but Jack, especially compared to the songs in Wish, the songs in this film are really good and they're actually memorable and enjoyable to listen to. And not to mention, this film had a far superior villain song. Um, but anyway, so as for the characters, obviously to start things off, we have the title character himself of Willy Wonka. And honestly, I quite liked this film's rendition of Wonka. I thought he was a good protagonist. I thought he led the movie very well. And I've got to say, I thought Timothee Chalamet did a very good job. I thought he perfectly displayed how kind of mad Willy Wonka is, and yeah, to be honest, he really fit into the role very well. So yeah, I honestly quite liked this film's portrayal of Wonka. I thought Noodle was a good character. I liked how the film delved into her character. You honestly felt very bad for her, and I honestly really liked her chemistry with Wonka. The villains of the movie, Slugworth, Prosnose, and Fickelgruber, I've got to say, I really liked these three as villains. Like I thought they were all honestly very entertaining as villains, and they were. I mean, I mean Slugworth in particular, who is basically the leader of the three. He is very he's definitely a very intimidating antagonist. I've got to say he was I thought the three of them were very enjoyable villains, and the three actors honestly did very good jobs with their roles. We also have Keegan Michael Key, who is kind of a secondary villain. I thought he was quite a fun secondary antagonist. He was definitely very entertaining. Keegan Michael Key definitely had a lot of fun in the role. Olivia Colman's character, she's shown much in the marketing, but her character is in this a bit, and I actually found her character to be very entertaining. Now, there is one certain character in the film who I do definitely need to discuss. Now, if there was one certain cast member in this film who I was really excited to see, it was without a doubt Hugh Grant as the Oompa Loompa. I mean, just from the first trailer, I could easily tell he was going to be my favorite character in the whole film. Like, he looks to be so funny. Um, boss. Well, and well, to be fair, he pretty much is the best character in the film. I mean, Hugh Grant pretty much steals the show whenever he's on screen in this, boss. I will say though, he actually wasn't in this film as much as I was expecting. Because while he didn't actually appear in the first trailer until the very end, he was in a lot of the second trailer. They really made him out to be like he was going to be like a major character in the film. I mean, he's even featured right there on the poster. But in actuality, he wasn't in the film a whole lot. I mean, granted, no pun intended, he did have his scenes, but like he only really had a few scenes in the whole film. He wasn't in it nearly as much as the second trailer would make you believe. So yeah, even though he without a doubt was the best character in the film, I really think he should have been in it more. Uh, and also there was also a certain other cast member in this who I feel like should have been in it a lot more. I kind of felt like this one certain cast member could have been put to much more use considering their casting in the movie. Um, but overall, I thought the characters in the film were very good, and I think pretty much the whole cast clearly had a lot of fun. Um, Now the plot of the film. I mean, the movie is basically a prequel to the story of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Obviously it's all about Wonka and how he started up his factory. I think the film does a decent job at being a prequel to the story of Willy Wonka. Um, with that being said, I don't think it's exactly a great origin story. But I mean, I thought I feel like the film kind of it could have done a better job at kind of trying to fit into the main Charlie and the Chocolate Factory story, but like with that being said, I don't think it did a particularly very bad job. Uh, I thought it did pretty well enough. And I thought it did well enough as musicals go. You had some very good songs, some very good dance choreography, and I mean, I thought it did well as being comedic. Cause I mean this film was honestly filled with humor. With that being said, the humor in the film was actually very good. There was genuinely a lot of scenes which I thought were pretty funny, and it did have a lot of women in my audience laughing. So overall, I thought the plot of the film was decent enough. Now for the narrative structure, like the film mainly focuses on Wonka and him starting up his shop. And I thought the movie was centered on Wonka. Um, and I thought it did a very good job as being that. Um, as focusing on Wonka. The film also heavily focuses on the main three villains and their whole part in art in this whole thing. I thought the movie did a good job focusing on them. We also have a subplot involving Noodle and her character. I thought the movie did a good job at focusing on aspects. We definitely do have a good amount of subplots with some of these other characters, but the film does a good job with all of them, and doesn't try to detract from being about Wonka. The Oompa Loompa subplot isn't really featured in the film until about 45 minutes in when he's actually introduced. But it does make for an entertaining subplot, mainly because, well, Hugh Grant's Oompa Loompa is without a doubt the most entertaining character in the whole film, so yeah, it is an enjoyable subplot, even if it should have had him be in the movie a lot more of it. But overall, Wonka was a pretty good film in my opinion. I thought it had a decent story. It did a good job at focusing on Willy Wonka. The characters were good. The cast all had a ton of fun. It was pretty funny, and I thought the songs in it were very good. With that being said, I don't think it's an amazing film. Like, I do think that I think the pacing could definitely be improved, and there was one or two cast members who should have been put to better use. Particularly Hugh Grant. Well, he was the best character. He definitely should have been in it more. But nonetheless, it is an entertaining film. It is a pretty good watch. And if you're planning to see any films with your kids over the Christmas holidays, I think Wonka is definitely the film you should bring them to. Definitely take them to see this over Wish. This film is clearly the superior musical of Christmas 2023. But I don't think it's an amazing film. I probably would call this the weakest of the three Wonka movies, but I still liked it overall, and I would say it is definitely worth a watch. So with that, I'm going to give Wonka a 7 out of 10. So with that, I'll see you guys next time, and bye.